Hi everyone, welcome back to Richard's Barbecue. Today I'm going to be cooking a whole brisket of beef on the Weber Smokefire. I have used an offset smoker before to do to cook a brisket of beef. It wasn't very successful. You do need to give it a lot of attention. So I'm hoping with the new Smokefire that all that will be taken care of for me, because I'll basically have to put it on, set the temperature, and away you go for 10 hours. And then all I've got to do is come back every now and then and give it a mop with a mopping sauce that I'm going to show you how to make in a bit. So let's get started. So here's our brisket of beef. I've already coated it with a yellow mustard, French's yellow mustard, and that just gives it a binder for the rub that I'm going to put on. So in this rub I have got a tablespoon of coarse salt, a tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of onion powder or onion granules. Same with garlic, 1 teaspoon of garlic granules or garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika, and 2 tablespoons of black pepper. So that's the dry rub. So what I'm going to do now is sprinkle that liberally all over the brisket of beef. So what we're going to do, we're going to set this all up, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight, ready to cook tomorrow. You can do this, an hour or two before, but obviously the longer you leave it, the better it'll be. The more flavour you'll get into there. Difficult doing this when you're one hand and dusting with the other. Okay, so let's do that on both sides. Remember what I said before about the binder, not too much, because otherwise when you start cooking, the binder will just fall off, just dry and fall off, and then you'll have all the dry rub on there as well. So make sure you get all down the sides so that your rub sticks all over. There we go. Okay, so all these little odd bits here, you can see here, look, these little well, I'll just trim those little bits up. Okay, so I'm going to carry on just making sure it's got a good coating all over. Then I'm going to wrap that up in cling film, put it in the fridge overnight, ready to cook tomorrow. So we'll come back tomorrow. Good morning everyone. As you can see, this beef brisket is marinated overnight. So what we're now going to do is set up the barbecue for 110 degrees centigrade, which is about 230 Fahrenheit. Press the button, barbecue starts heating up, and we'll come back when it's ready. And for the first hour we're going to put this beef brisket onto smoke boost. So we'll come back in a bit. Okay, so temperature of 110 degrees Celsius has been reached, so let's get this on the barbecue. So as you can see, the barbecue's been set up and it's got a water pan on, so we can keep as much moisture in that barbecue as we go. So on that brisket, and all this moisture here as well that's been left on the tray, I'm going to try and pour that back on to the meat. We don't want to lose that. Okay, so we can see our probe at the back there, so I'm going to take that probe and I'm going to put that into the meat there, into the thickest part of the meat. Right, so I'll just get that in there and then we can set up smoke boost. Okay, so the probe is in the thickest part of the meat there. So let's close up the barbecue. Back over to the menu. We'll scroll down to smoke boost. There we go. Press the button. Smoke boost. Move down to on. Press the button again. It says keep barbecue at 110 degrees or start cooling down. Well, we need to start cooling down because basically it takes the temperature down to, there we go, the smoke boost is now on. So you can see this, the barbecue has stopped working now. It cools the element down to smoke the pellets rather than to actually burn the pellets. So there's the pellets, and then today we're cooking on mesquite wood pellets as well. So we'll leave that going for about an hour, and then we'll move the temperature back up to 110 degrees. Come back in a bit. Okay, so here we are again. We've had about an hour now on smoke boost. So what I'm going to do now is take that off the smoke boost, and I'm going to turn the temperature back up to 110 Celsius. Press the button, and now that temperature will start rising. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take you back indoors and I'm going to show you how to do that mopping sauce that I told you about. Yeah, so we need to keep that nice and moist throughout the cook, so we're going to use the mopping sauce to do that. Probably mop every couple of hours. So let's go do that. Okay, so now we're going to make our mopping sauce for the beef brisket. So in here I've got 1 tablespoon of minced garlic or ground garlic, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of crushed chilies, 1 teaspoon of salt. So that's going to go into a bowl, and then we're going to have 1 cup, not quite 1 cup, half a cup of cider vinegar, 1 cup of apple juice, and about half a bottle of beer, keeping a little bit back for the chef of course. Okay, so there we go. So we'll just give that a mix up. Also in that that dry part of the mix, there is also a tablespoon of brown sugar as well. Got to mention that one. So give that a stir, and then while that's cooking, every couple of hours we'll baste the meat with this, and I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours now. So what I'm going to do now is just give the mopping sauce a bit of a stir, and then literally just mop this all over. And as I said, I'm going to do this every kind of couple of hours. good soak in. And this keeps it nice and moist throughout the cook. So the next stage, as I said, I'll do this for every sort of couple of hours or so, and then the next stage, after about 8-hour cook, is to wrap it in foil, and we'll come back and do that in a bit. Okay, so we've had about 7.5 hours now of this 10-hour cook. Looking pretty good. The bark's looking pretty good on there. So what I'm going to do now is just wrap that tightly in foil. Could do with 2 hours to do this really, but so I'm going to wrap that up, and once I wrap that up, we'll come back and put it back on the barbecue. Okay, so you can see what I've done with the brisket there. I've wrapped it tightly in foil, and I've repositioned the probe in through the foil as well. And what we're looking to get is to probably about 90 degrees internal temperature, probably after about 10 hours, and then hopefully it'll be ready to go. We'll come back then. Okay, so we've taken the brisket off the barbecue. Time to cut it and see what it's like. Smells good. So just lift it onto the tray here. And we're not going to get rid of all those juices, because all those juices on top. Okay. So let's give it a go. Oh, that just glides through like butter. And just come in here, take a look at that nice smoke ring around the outside there. Absolutely perfect. I'm well pleased with that. So we'll let you know how we get on with it. Okay, so all ready to eat. We're just serving up today with some potato salad and homemade barbecue beans. So just get a look at that smoke ring. So, bon appetit. See you next time.